Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Side Quest Contact, episode 22, right? 22 of Let's Make It Adventure. I think it's 22. Yes, it's 22. All right. Now, the last episode we were working on Act 2 of our adventure. We had finished up the first three scenarios for Act 1, and we started building and putting together the scenarios for around Act 2. So let's recap where we're at, and then I think we may be able to finish Act 2 off today. Possibly. We'll see. So this is where we have our paladin, our centaur paladin. And I've been thinking of a name, and I want to go ahead and put a name up here. And I'm going to make his name Rolencio. I don't know why. That just seemed to come up like a good name for this character. Goes by Roland for short. Rolencio. All right, so we got Rolencio, our centaur paladin. And this paladin is engaged in, well, at once was a forbidden love. It's no longer a forbidden love because the lover has been exiled and is now living on this world, a Githzerai monk. Now, for this particular character, this Githzerai monk, we don't really have to go into a lot of background for this character. We have a stat block here we could use if it comes to fighting. And as far as gender and romantic relations go, do whatever you want. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to refer to this character as her because we have a male centaur and they are engaged. But please, that's not a statement on anything. That's you do it how you want to do it. That's just how I like to do it. If you want a same-sex romance thing going on, then that's totally your call. You can do that. So we have our Githzari here, and she's going to have been I'm not going to say captured because we already got enough situations where people are being captured. I'm going to say she's willing. She goes willingly to explore, to encounter this were tiger, and willingly accepts the change. Right? Why not? Right? At this point, I can't return home. Might as well gain some extra power this way. Learn how to control my change, and maybe I can bring my boyfriend over, my paladin boyfriend over, which the Were Tiger is going to be totally okay with, right? Yeah, in this instance, the more the merrier, because we have a situation where the Were Tiger is like the last one in this region, so needs to kind of restock the numbers. So we're not going to have a situation where the paladin Rolenzio comes up to the characters and say, "Hey, can you help me?" But instead, so we're gonna change this a little bit here because we already got enough of this. But instead, we're going to have them over here. The players are going to overhear them arguing. She's like, "Come on, let's go meet this guy. You'll really like him." He says, "No, I'm not into this. We shouldn't do this." And she's like, "I'm going to go anyway. If you want to be with me, you got to come with me." And then there's going to be kind of a situation. Now, these two characters are not really inconspicuous, right? We have a centaur, someone who's part horse. We have a Githzari, someone who's definitely otherworldly. Doesn't look like the traditional races in a D&D setting, has an otherworldly look. So these two characters are going to stand out and attract the attention of the players as they kind of have their little argument. So we're gonna make it out to they're gonna go out there. Perhaps the players are kind of I wonder what they're talking about. Maybe they want to go find out themselves. And because we can use language that will attract the players, like words like, let's see, what can attract the players? If they're overhearing them, they can hear the Gazari monk say things like, "You'll like him. He's a mighty warrior," referring to the Were Tiger, or he has the key to increasing power. Things like that. That the players will like, huh? What are they talking about? And then maybe want to go see what they're talking about. increasing power. And we can even throw in a little he slash we could rule this region if we wanted. So these statements that our players are overhearing that may get them cued in enough to want to go see what's happening. If not, if they decide, never mind, we don't want to bother exploring this plot line, then we can still get them wrapped up in it some other ways. We'll revert back to the missing people. We'll find someone the players care about. That person will be missing, and then that will go back to the hunting for missing people arcs. But I would like to try to veer from that since we had that a couple times in Act 1. Let's try to have a scenario that draws the players that isn't involved rescuing someone who's missing, but investigating something suspicious. And this could be anywhere, right? This could be in the town, in the city, right? If they've just wrapped up with Ferngruza's scenario, they can spot these characters there. They could spot these characters in the Hadozi town, the treetop town, if that's where they ended up, when they wrapped up Act One scenarios, or the town where Grumpo the Gift live. Any of those towns, when Act One is done, that's where you can introduce these characters in any of those settings. So they're going to get out there, and he's going to go right. The Rolenzio, he's like, okay, fine, let's go see what this is about because she's adamant, she's not backing down, and she's going to go regardless. And then they're going to get out there, and the players may be going stealthily, maybe tracking, or maybe just walking with them, like, hey, we're going to go see what this is about too. So okay, has been churned. Gazari lover been churned but cannot control the change yet. And instead of, I'm going to take this out, convincing the paladin to join, we're just going to say Gazari tries to demonstrate her change to the paladin, but can't quite do it. Like, I'm thinking maybe there's like a, sort of a partial change, like maybe orange and black fur kind of start sprouting up from her skin, but she's not really good enough at controlling this yet, so it kind of all sinks back in, and then she's like, she seems frustrated, but can't make complete change. Okay. And this is probably where our players are going to be like, what is happening here? Like, is this a lycanthrope? And they may want to intercede at that point. I'm going to put in here players may want to intercede or neutralize the threat because they heard her talking in terms of power and ruling. So maybe if they see this, they're like, yeah, maybe we should do so. We should definitely do something about this. Neutralize the threat. And if necessary, Rolenzio will turn against the players because his true loyalty lies to the Gazari monk, and we need a name for her as well. Yeah, we'll just let you come up with a name when you decide that situation. So they turn against the players, and then we have our wizard there as well. Now, before battle starts, let me take this out. Before they turn against the players, we're going to have our wizard appear. The wizard's going to appear and try to console and be okay. Tell the Gazari monk, hey, it's okay. You're still new at this. We're gonna teach you. We're gonna make you fully capable of controlling the change on your own and being in full control of the beast when you have changed into the beast. And so, yeah, the players are like, oh, okay, by this point, the players should be like, yeah, this is not a good situation. We need to deal with this. And however they want to deal with it, we're going to have the players versus. Okay, let me get rid of this here. So if it comes to battle, the players will be against the Rolenzio. Rolenzio, his Githzari lover, Githzari monk. The wizard, Selena, and her sword, which is, I think we picked out yesterday, it's a flying sword. And her flying sword. Now, our players are second level at this point, but this is likely going to be a tough fight if it comes down to a fight. Third level wizard with a flying sword, a second level paladin, a monk. So we got a Gazari monk. So we got some pretty good stacks against the players. But players they're crafty. They figure ways out of jams, and they may figure their way out of this jam. So we had to decide what happens if the players are victorious versus if the players are defeated. I'm thinking there's plenty of room for escape. So if the players want to escape, they'll have that ability. They'll be able to get out and try to flee if the battle goes against them. But what happens if they're victorious? So let's take a look. Okay, players defeated. Okay, they'll likely be able to escape if some are captured or if some are like knocked out, 0 hit points, and some if, no, just say some are captured, will be disarmed, disarmored, put into cage, and await the were-tiger, who will then decide, do I want to turn this person? Probably, yeah, right. It's a player character. It's not just a standard commoner out of the city, but someone who's got some skill, some talent. So that'll happen if our players are defeated. What if our players are victorious in this fight? Well, the wizard is not going to fight to the death. Actually, no one's going to fight to the death. No one will fight to the death. And I'm thinking like if my standard rule is if someone isn't fighting to the death, if they're once they get down below like half hit points, they're starting to think, okay, this fight is not going my way. How do I get out of this? Will try to escape. May even try to negotiate. And that could go a whole variety of ways. But the one thing that should not happen is that the players should totally wipe the bad guys, or the bad guys should totally wipe the players. There's enough room in the jungle in this scenario, and in the skills that everyone has, that if they need to escape, they can. Okay, so I think we got a pretty good Act 2 here set up. Let's see where we got. Paladin, Forbidden Lover, Forbidden Lover goading the Paladin out to meet the Were-Tiger, attracts the player's attention as she's trying to goad him out there. Players will either go openly or stealthily. Maybe they'll try to track the couple. But either way, they're going to go back to the same spot because this will be the same area where they came to. Remember our Deep Gnome and his missing sister. It's the same spot, and it's the same spot that Frungruza may have brought them here. When this is where Frungruza is thinking there's some goblinoid activity. And by now, I think we're going to realize that we may not have hobgoblins. We got were-tigers as the main threat here. Okay. So, however this scenario ends, like every scenario depends on the players, their decisions, the dice, because even good plans go awry if the dice don't roll well, and poor plans can succeed incredibly if the dice do roll well. All right, sorry about the brief pause. So, if at the end of this scenario, we need to start thinking about how we're going to move into scenario three. And scenario three should kind of start getting us into direct contact with the main antagonists or getting us close to it. Now, with the way Act 2 ends, I don't want to I don't want the main antagonist here just yet. Too early for the reveal of the main antagonist, but they have an idea of what's happening. The were tiger is likely, when this scenario is going down, is awfully likely hunting, scouting, exploring, and then will make its way back to this to its nesting lair area eventually. So that could be how we that'll be our deciding factor. Okay, that's what we need to ask ourselves. What does the main antagonist find when he returns to the site? Is it going to be a victorious Gazari paladin, captured players, or is he gonna find a battle scene where everyone's fled, escaped, or maybe someone's dead? Who knows? And so this is when our Wera Tiger will start to maybe start taking actions into his own hands. Like he's at the point where, yeah, there are people out here. They know where I am. My existence isn't as hidden as I wanted it to be, and can start making plans. Okay, Wera Tiger antagonist will begin plotting, planning after returning and seeing the situation, whatever that may be. All right, good, good. So what happens if the were tiger returns and the players have somehow captured, restrained, or something these other characters? Well, then, yeah, he's not going to be happy. And he can control his change, so yeah, he's going to go on a rampage, and that's probably going to scare the players off because the players aren't going to be able to. I don't think they can still tangle at level 2 with a challenge rating 4 were tiger. And this is a situation where it's sort of open, right? We can't really make a definitive this is what's going to happen next because there are so many things that could happen with this scenario. We just kind of want to have a good outline of what might happen and what we're going to do when if certain things do happen. All right. So that was pretty good. Yeah, we got Act 1 now. We have a good Act 2, and now for Act 3, we're going to talk about what the antagonist is actually going to be doing now. What its plans, because now it's like I said, it's now discovered, right? No longer secretive, probably discovered, and needs to act quickly. And Act Three is going to revolve around the Were-Tiger's decisions and actions, which we'll come up with, and we'll do that with our next video. So thanks for hanging out. We're now down to act. We've done Act One. We've done Act Two. We're going to start working on Act Three for the next one, and eventually what I call the final scenario that Act Three builds to. The climactic battle, as you were. All right. Well, enjoy your weekend. What's left of it, and I'll see y'all next time. Take care.